Alrighty, welcome to TGIM. My name's Jared. I'm going to be running you through this evening. So let me have a mouthful of tea. Cool. So once again, welcome to. Thank God it's Monday. I guess in our group we love Mondays because it's a fresh start to the week. And if your outlook on life is to look at what can be, not what isn't, then a fresh week should excite you because we don't know what's going to happen this week. But what we do know is the legends on listening to this will definitely be in Adelaide. Spectacular for me Wednesday, for most of you Thursday, from some of you Friday, and for some of you Saturday morning. We're super keen and we're pumped for that because we're talking about positive association. Just real quick, you're hanging around people that are doing better than you, learning from people who are doing better than you. That can lift you up, that can make you better, associating with better people, you naturally become better. Human beings are like chameleons. They'll always adapt to the environment around them and adjust and become better and learn and evolve. And thus, with that being said, that works both ways, obviously. If you're hanging around a bunch of negative losers, you're going to become one. If you're hanging around a bunch of positive, healthy, active lifestyle entrepreneurs, like we've got bulk in our group, but there'll be even all of them collectively in Adelaide, including Enrique, who's an absolute freak when it comes to doing what we do. Man, that's going to be a good event for us. But let's rip into it. Today is about taking responsibility. I found an old session. There's a little bit of a mix-up, and I hope this is okay for you guys. I'd love your feedback after the call or during the call or whatever. But we're going to be talking about your life because there's no dress rehearsals in a human being's life. You don't get a second chance, guys. This is it. This is what we're doing. This is your now or never. You know, this is right now. So it's important to note that if you're waiting and hoping for things to get better for you, but you're doing nothing about it, if you're making no changes, then they will not. And I'm here to tell you that let's be real. Let's have some slap around moments because, if you're waiting for help, you're wasting your time. There's only a certain amount of time that people can bail you out for. At the end of the day, if you don't change the way you're doing things, things will stay exactly the same. Or they might change for a little bit, but they'll always fall back into the same path because you haven't changed your philosophy on life and you haven't changed your philosophy on a certain topic. For example, if you have the philosophy and the mindset that you're overweight, doesn't matter what short-term result you get, you will always go back to being overweight. Always, 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 always. Because you've got the philosophy of a fat person, and that's how you see yourself. So when you look in the mirror, it doesn't matter how you look, you always look overweight. So eventually you just end up back there, right? Our life is like kind of like when you first looked at the Herbalife opportunity on a larger scale, I'm talking Super Sunday, SDS, some of you for Adelaide. When I first looked at my first Adelaide Spectacular, I looked at it and I envisioned myself. They were doing President's Team recognition. I was sitting right up the back, like literally right up the back. I'm talking maybe 200 rows back, maybe more, maybe 300. There's 2,000 people there. And I just remember visualizing myself saying my President's Team speech, which 30 of you will be able to hear. And I'm so grateful that you guys will be there for that as well. But I could see it first. And I think it's important to note, guys, if you guys can't see the changes first, if you can't shut your eyes and visualize yourself where you need to be, and doing these special things that are envisioned in your brain, it's very rare that they'll come to pass. It's very rare that they will happen because you have to see it first. Because if you see it, then it opens up that little door called belief. And the more that you see it, the more the door opens. And eventually you become to the mindset of, okay, this is what I have to do to become where I need to be. So, for example, if you hang around, I'm telling you guys, if you're top 10 people that you hung around, top 5 people, if your goal was to go President's Team and you hang around 5 President's Team members or 5 people that were doing better than you at what you do, you would naturally become better. It just have to happen. Like even if you emulated this, because you start emulating the little traits, the habits, you'll start reading more, you'll start working on your mindset, You'll start working out a little bit more. You'll start eating a bit better because you'll be evolving into that person that you need to be, that sum total of the top 5, right? So it's important that we take responsibility for that. It's important that we visualize where we need to be. It's important that we let ourselves open up that door of belief, because there's no way you'll just kick it open. See you, buddy. See you. Audrey just come in and say goodbye. See you, Bobby. And so if you can just open that crack, it's kind of like giving yourself a little bit of hope, right? And then you'll start to, the more you hang around better people, it'll start to open more and more and more. And eventually you'll end up thinking, there's, this person, like something like business, it's not like something like basketball, right? There's no genetic things like a basketballer, right? 6 foot, 6'8", can dunk, really quick, really skilled, really genetically advanced, right? In business, you do not have to be. You just have to be smart enough to be able to do what other people are doing, who are doing better than you, so you become that person, right? So you become or become your version of that. So it's important that we take responsibility for that as well, because only you can change that. Only you can make those steps. Only you can have the courage to be able to say, have that vision for yourself. And people will laugh at you guys. When I first started Herbalife, I'm telling you, people laughed. They said, you won't make it. They said, be careful. They said, like, all this plebby stuff. And it reminds me of the blame game, right? Like, those people that always play the blame game, they're always the victim. Bad things always happen to me. I don't know why all this stuff, it's one thing after the other. I'm not where I want to be because this person holds me back. All this crap that the negative people, and I can guarantee you when you look at these people and you actually do a background check, they're not where they want to be. And they're not even close. And they probably don't even have that vision for themselves, right? They're just these guys that they kind of go through the day to day, which is fine. There's heaps of them out there, but just don't let it be you. Because if you're always blaming someone else, this calls about taking responsibility. You lose all the responsibility. As soon as you blame someone else, they have 100% power of your life, especially in that circumstance that you're blaming them for. So if you're continually doing that, then you're continually giving people the power of your life. So you're never going to be able to live the bloody life that you want, right? So what matters the most is right now, and using the past, using the past as your best teacher. Because we've all been around a while, guys. Everyone on this call is at least over 18, and that's long enough to learn some serious lessons in life. I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about people you want to be like. I'm talking about people you don't want to be like. I'm talking about all this stuff that we can pick up because we're smart, right? Like we pick this stuff up. We don't just kind of go through life like a train on the train tracks, having a final destination that's set. That's not the way it is. We need to use the past as our best teacher to be able to learn the lessons. It's called reflecting. I talk about it a lot, and that's going to be able to propel you, especially if you're refining the way you do things, to where you need to be. And especially if you're like, hang on, I think there's a knowledge gap between where I am now and where I need to be. How do I fill the gap? How do I get that knowledge I need to be able to get from A to B? Everything's written about, and if it's in regards to your Herbalife business, everything's at the events. And like I kind of did on the call, the quick live thing I put into the group about Adelaide today, if you go into this knowing what you want to get out of it, if you go into an event knowing what you want to get out of it, you'll always find it. Always, 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 always. Opportunity is reserved for those that seek. It's a really important thing to write down. If you're not looking, you will not find. Opportunities and it's a mindset. It really is. Like, if you're not looking for this opportunity, you won't even find it. Like, you'll hear about it and it'll just go straight over your head. You won't even be looking. Like, your world will be like a keyhole compared to the open door. Like, you're not looking for it, right? So you won't find it. If you don't know what's there, you won't find it. I think that's relevant to our businesses as well, because I can guarantee you that 95% of your friends don't actually know what you're doing, or they have the wrong projection of what you're doing. Right? They think you're doing something differently to what you're actually doing. So we need to find ways to counteract those hurdles. I guess that's a different webinar, but it was just kind of like an example. So, and we need to learn using the past as the experience to be able to continually to adjust how we actually treat our friends and family, because we don't want to scare them off. We've got to take it a little bit easy on them as well, but we still want them to be fully educated in what we're doing. And I think that's in the frame up a little bit as well. And what I guess you guys would have discovered, just kind of moving on with taking responsibility as the new year, people have already bailed on their New Year's resolutions, right? But the new year is not going to save us. Like, it's 2018, 11 months now, it'll be 2019, in another 12 months after that, 2020, and so on. And if we're not changing what we're doing, nothing's going to change for us. So we really have to, we've got this one chance, and we've got an amazing opportunity that's completely equal to everyone. There are people in Indonesia that sold their last pair of jeans to go to the SDS and now make $100,000 a month US, living in Bali. That's like making $1 billion in Australia, right? It's crazy. So the opportunity is equal, and nearly living where we are so lucky to live in Australia. I hope everyone's here in Australia on this call, but we're so lucky to live here that we don't appreciate how good the opportunity is, because most of us haven't been in a place of severe lack of funds that it scares you, like that it actually scares you that you're going to be homeless type of thing. Yeah, like it actually, you stay up at night thinking about it all the time. So a lot of us don't get into that place because we always have like Centrelink or mum and dad. There's always a safety net. But sometimes I think, guys, we just have to have the mindset that we're burning the boats. Yeah, has everyone heard that story, right? I'll tell you. So there was a famous, Anthony Robbins talks about this. So there was a famous general, and they were going to an island for war, right? And they were severely outnumbered. The emperor had kind of lost his marbles, and he sent all these soldiers in. It was 3-1 to fight this battle. And they land on the shore, and the general or the major or whatever they're called actually burnt the boats. He said, "There is no going back. We will not retreat. We either win or we die." Right? And then what happens? Of course they win, because there's no safety net. They have to. They were ruthless. They absolutely destroyed them. Right? And it was 3-1. They were outnumbered. So sometimes when you put that against our life, it's the same type of thing. We've got to learn how to kind of burn the boats, right? Just have that, I'm going to do this no matter what. It's time to go. It's time to grind this out. So it's important to note, having that type of attitude, of course you're going to succeed. And that's why you hear so many of these stories, because they didn't have boats to burn. Like, they were so far gone, right? And they still managed to find a way to succeed. And we're all in that same boat with this opportunity, which is crazy for us as well. And I'm just getting through here. The other thing I want to talk about with you guys is I guess affirmations, not so much, but more the ripple effects of our daily disciplines. I talk about it a little bit as well, but everything you do is taking some form of action. Not doing things is taking action. You're taking action, you're going, I'm not going to do that, and I don't do it, right? Or I'm just going to lay on the couch today. In regards to actual energy, you expend the same in regards to your mental capacity, in regards to not doing something or doing something. So everything you do in that instance is an affirmation. So if you, like, I don't sit there and talk to myself in the mirror and stuff, and people do that, and that's fine. I don't do that. I let my daily actions be my affirmations to where I want to be, because everything you do and in a daily instance is going to have some type of ripple effect throughout the rest of your life, right? Like making the call or not making the call, like calling that last person and telling them about Adelaide again, and they finally decide to go. and then they love it, and then they're your first tab team member. That has a ripple effect not only through your life, their life, but all the people they affect along the way. And it all started with that one action, just as an example. So everything we do has a ripple effect. It's picture the ocean, not the ocean. Picture a still lake, and you grabbing a rock, throwing it in the middle, and watching the ripple effects. Sometimes the actions that we take, guys, when we actually look back, it's like it was that moment that actually changed things, right? Like, what's an example? Maybe it was you saying yes to this opportunity. That's a big ripple effect. It's a really small decision that has a big ripple effect, but it's all caused by taking action. So with affirmations being said, like our past doesn't have to dictate where we're going. So if you've had a horrid run leading up, maybe use the past, once again, to touch on that as the teacher to what not to do, right? Like if I wanted to be where I was now, I wasn't going to keep doing the things I was doing in my financial services business, because I was doing it, and 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 there was no reward on the other side, and there was no testimonials of people that had gone to the top doing what we were doing in business. Like, so we're kind of doing it blind, right? But in what we're doing, we know if we do this, we can get to the top, because people have done it, and not just one. Hundreds of people at President's Team around the world. I put my name amongst them in LA on the wall, and I was like on like the other side of ALC across the road, and the President's Team wall went all the way across, and these were all people that had walked that same path. All people, and it all starts with just talking to people. So another ripple effect is maybe inviting that person that you see down the street that you're like, oh, should I talk to, should I not? Maybe inviting them into the workout. You don't know who that person is and where they're going and what their circumstances are. It doesn't matter how they look on the surface. So they come in, they love it, they get started, they smash it, and they go all the way. Imagine that ripple effect on your life. But everything starts with that action, and everything starts with your daily affirmations. And I mean action affirmations, not said affirmations like the programming of the brain. That's the most important. I'd prefer us doing very little amount of personal development, taking a crap load of action, because if we have the right support anyway, we'll be able to learn the lessons from that. Action is your best personal development. If you don't have action and you're fueling yourself full of all this information, you're just going to get confused, guys, because you're not going to have a chance to actually process it properly and put it into place, which will mean that your body can't actually, like your brain can't actually learn the lessons. So nothing stays in it, just kind of cycles around. You'll know a few good quotes and whatever, but you won't actually be pressing the flesh, so to speak. So you won't be able to put things together, right? So it's important. It's important in that regard, obviously, as well. So, guys, I guess on what we're doing right now, what's the time? Okay, so that's been 20 minutes. So that's heaps, guys. So hopefully you guys got some value out of that. I just wanted to retouch on how important it is that we grab this thing that we call life, and be able to get exactly what we want out of it. Because if you've got goals and they're written down, and you've got a plan, more importantly, you've got testimonials of people who've got where you want to be prior to you, so you know it works. You know deep down in your heart that it works, and then you've got the right fuel for your belief. I truly believe that anything is possible. Absolutely anything. I truly believe that you guys can rewrite the record books. Like, don't compare yourself to anyone, because you can be anything. So yeah, use these guys and these testimonials as inspiration. But these guys aren't you. You're you, and that's your power, right? So make sure that we're really plugged into that. Can't wait to see you guys in Adelaide. If you haven't got your ticket yet, I highly suggest you get it if you like. Being financially independent. And guys, that's it from me. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to shoot them, because I've got a meeting coming up. If you don't or whatever, I can definitely answer any comments in the group as well. So I'm going to give you guys exactly 2 minutes. All right, guys. Alrighty, guys. I'm out, but yeah, chuck any comments you have in the group. I'll post this right now. See ya.